So obviously the Epstein files, the motion to pass or to release the Epstein files has passed through the House. Now it goes to the Senate. I don't know how long it's going to be before it makes it through the Senate. Right now, a lot of people are managing their anticipation by talking about what exactly Trump is planning for a whole year of trying to bury the Epstein files to changing his mind and reluctantly, it seems, saying that actually go ahead and release them. So I can't tell you what's in his mind. Could be tonight, according to Caitlin Collins. We'll see it if we see it. I can't tell you what's going on in Trump's mind. I can tell you what's coming out of his mouth. I would like to provide for you some supporting evidence, if I may, in my opinion. I think that he's in an extremely bad mood right now. I know, trivial, but very funny. See, again, a lot of people think that the reason that Trump has flipped on this and said, okay, go ahead, release the Epstein files after a year of saying the opposite and being really upset about it when it gets brought up, is that there's some plan in motion, like some kind of editing of the files, which I'm sure they've been censored, don't get me wrong. The release bill literally requires their censorship to some extent to protect associates, like victims and people unrelated to the crimes, stuff like that, But I don't think there's some big play here. I don't think there's a turnabout here, right? Yesterday, Donald Trump's voice was incredibly hoarse because he had, according to him, yelled at somebody over trade. Was it over trade? Was it over Epstein? We don't know. Later that night,
Yeah, Jennifer, go ahead. Incriminating in the file, sir.
being asked on Air Force One questions about is Venezuela and Epstein. I think a couple of voices overriding. Quiet Piggy. I have actually never seen him this mad.
Yeah, Jennifer, go ahead. Incriminating in the file, sir.
Files.
Quiet.
That's weird, right? This to me, it's like that line between chauvinism and misogyny, where Trump has always belittled women, but he doesn't usually talk down to them like this. That's like weirdly aggressive. It doesn't have that aloofness that he's known for. You know?
Yeah, Jennifer, go ahead. Incriminating in the file, sir. Quiet.
God, that's weird. He has been really fucking grumpy all day today, by the way. While the House was voting on the release of the Epstein files, he was having a conversation with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, and he said a lot of really funny stuff. Really, really funny stuff during it. Again, we're tone reading here. Keep in mind, this is happening while the House is gearing up to vote on the Epstein files. You know that through his mind, he's all kinds of shit is racing, right? Like he's thinking how many are going to vote for it? How's the news media covering it? The biggest story in the whole country right now is this overwhelming tide of support for releasing the Epstein files,
Is it appropriate, Mr. President, for your family to be doing business in Saudi Arabia while you're president? Is that a conflict of interest? And Your Royal Highness, the U.S. intelligence concluded that you orchestrated the brutal murder of a journalist. 9/11 families are furious that you are here in the Oval Office. Why should Americans trust you? And the same to you, Mr. President.
Now, who are you with?
I'm with ABC News, sir.
You're with who?
ABC News, sir.
Fake news. ABC fake news. One of the worst. One of the worst in the business. But I'll answer your question.
Thank you.
I have nothing to do with the family business. I have.
Incredible stuff, really. He goes on to respect to that journalist. Yeah, that journalist is talking the way that I wish more journalists would. He goes on and unbelievably, I actually can't believe this. I genuinely, how do I put this, man? I speak hyperbolically pretty often, so sometimes I wish I had like an extra level that I could pull out. Trump often says stuff that I can't believe. This one I double can't believe. Can I say that? Will you believe me if I say that? Like I'm being sincere, I'm not just playing it up. I wouldn't have to play it up, I actually can't believe this one.
He's done a phenomenal job. You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial.
Trump is referring to Khashoggi, the journalist who, on the orders of this man, was killed and butchered. Remember? That extremely high-profile event that people still talk about?
A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen, but he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like that.
It's okay, just you ask Mr. President,
please,
you allow me to answer. You know, I feel painful about
This is beyond the pale, even for Republicans. Like, again, the Republicans tolerate the Gulf states for business reasons. Republicans don't like the Gulf state. Like, Republican voters don't have any love in their heart for, you know, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, whatever else, UAE. To defend the murder of Khashoggi is actually unbelievable. Like, he might, like, it is, for how this plays over with the American public, he might as well be defending, like, Al-Qaeda here. Osama bin Laden. I can't think of a comparison. There is no group of people in America who don't hate Saudi Arabia for this.
you know,
He's done a phenomenal job. You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen. But he
maximum vice signaling. He's not vice signaling. Vice signaling is when you're aura farming with your retarded Discord fellows over how evil you are and how many Holocausts you want to do, okay? Trump just says anything to defend his business contracts, and the Gulf states are one of the few, like, Saudi Arabia is one of the few governments that deals with Trump at his level. Everyone's openly corrupt. Everyone just, they love gold. Everyone loves gold, right? Like, Trump has the interior design sensibilities of a Saudi prince, you know? This isn't vice signaling. This is just Trump being so unaware of what American people care about that he'll, like, there's no moderation in his statement, which to me suggests a high level of political compromise, right? This is not something this isn't the first time this has come up with Trump either. I mean, the murder happened when Trump was president in 2018.
knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like
it's okay,
that.
just you ask Mr. President,
please,
you allow me to answer. You know, I feel painful about, you know, journalists. It's really painful to hear, you know, anyone that been losing his life for, you know, no real purpose or not in a legal way. And it's been painful for us in Saudi Arabia. We've did all the right steps of investigation, etc., in Saudi Arabia, and we've improved our system to be sure that nothing happened like that, and it's painful and it's a huge mistake, and we are doing our best that this doesn't happen again.
Mr. President.
He ordered the murder. This isn't a conspiracy. This guy ordered the murder. What was a huge mistake? There was no huge mistake. He ordered the assassination of an American journalist for political reasons. That's it. There's no. It was a hit. It was an assassination. Trump is lucky that this happened during the Epstein file vote, because I genuinely think if this had happened in a quieter week, this would be enough to be like a multi-week news cycle on its own, and bad with the Republicans too. Again, there's no way to vice signal your way out of this, right? There's no way to run through this information from like Fox News in a favorable light. It's the Saudi government. Like, Americans don't like the Saudis. Didn't he have one of the guys involved in 9/11 at the White House too? No. That's the current president of Syria, and he's actually like a pretty okay guy by the standards of former Al-Qaeda insurgents who run Syria. That he's fine. There are some MAGA people who are upset with him though, because he's, you know, former Al-Qaeda. But no. Mohammed bin Salman is a million times more evil than him. Al-Sharad. Crypto bros like Saudis, right? Is that who this is for? This isn't for anyone politically. This is just for Trump. It's lit like in the interview they talk about business dealings between the Trump family and Saudi Arabia. You know, it's just grift, but it's so politically. I don't know. It's crazy, man.
Mr. President, why wait for Congress to release the Epstein files? Why not just do it now?
You know, it's not the question that I mind, it's your attitude. I think you are a terrible reporter. It's the way you ask these questions. You start off with a man who's highly respected, asking him a horrible insubordinate and just a terrible question. And you could even ask that same exact question nicely. You're all psyched up. Somebody psychs you over at ABC. They're going to psych it.
I'm telling, he's fucking furious about the release of the files, dude. And if you believe he's flipped on the files because there's some bigger plan here, I really think you're doing whatever the opposite of coping. You're reverse coping. Like, you need to take a W, right? He's obviously just upset.
You're a terrible person and a terrible reporter.
Mr. President, why wait for Congress to...
And don't put in the newspaper that I was mad, please. Fox News covered this in the context of, like, lying about America bringing in more money because of the Saudis. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess openly corrupt leaders like Putin or Mohammed bin Salman or whatever, I think that when they do press conferences, they do a much more convincing job of pretending that they don't hate their own country than Trump does. Defending the murder of Khashoggi is just, I just can't believe, like, there's just no reason at all, you know?
It set the tone for some very generous announcements from the Saudi side. The Saudis now say that their investment pledge in the United States will be increased to $1 trillion over the next several years. The first part of that investment in infrastructure projects, like the $14.2 billion the Saudis spent with GE Varnova. The project will build heavy-duty gas turbines and create 1,800 jobs in Greenville, South Carolina.
Brilliant stuff, really. I mean, that's basically all you can really say about this, right? If you showed any clips from the actual, meeting, you'd have a lot of bad stuff to work with. They're not giving anything to appease their base. There's nothing. They're not giving them anything. Even if the Democrats don't seize the moment, the MAGA movement within the Republican Party is gone. There's nothing left for them, you know? Trump in 1 week, Epstein files. We don't have skilled workers over here, so we need H-1B visa workers. Mohammed bin Salman did nothing wrong. Khashoggi had it coming. Fucking, like, on every single level, there's just nothing for them to work with, man. They're mad that he brought over the president of Syria, which I'm not mad about, but they're mad about him. I hope MAGA's defeated by their internal contradictions, but I'm not sure we can celebrate yet. Well, we'll have to see how it goes, right? Because MAGA could metamorphose into, like, double MAGA, you know? You could end up getting a kind of like, well, Trump was actually a grifter controlled by the Jews. We're the real MAGA movement kind of guy. Like, that's very possible. Still like 3 years left of MAGA? No, Trump's a lame duck president now. Every single venture that he has is stalled, you know? The redistricting, stalled. ICE, mega stalled. Performative deportation of all the political enemies, stalled. 2025 went fucking terribly for him. The election season, every single metric on every demographic group, all of them down. You know, he's losing the support of the MAGA base. He's losing the support of the neocons. The Epstein file. There's nothing. These movements are built on momentum. As soon as the momentum falters, like, momentum is more important to these people because for them it's all vibes, right? If we were actually interested in governance, in policy wonkery and outcomes, then you can have a bad outcome, but then make up for it later with a good outcome. But you can't do that if you're only, you know, power is narrative. It's pretty much like it's just about continuing that line. He's only 5 points up with white men. He's so cooked. Yep. Okay, how do we win over all the disillusioned MAGA from Fuentes and Candace Owens? Look, one fucking thing at a time, okay? All I'm telling you is that the MAGA movement is done, all right? The loss in momentum is not going to be recomped. He's a lame duck president. It's just going to be spiraling down from here. Maybe you get a blip now and again, here and there, whatever. But the whatever mandate people pretended Trump had, it's gone. Is woke back? Woke is not yet back, but we'll get there, okay? We'll get there. I have Trump is in the Epstein files written on my back truck window in rural suburban Kansas, and I haven't heard a single bad thing and numerous agreements. That's fucking based. And praxis, thank you. God, praxis is such a soy word. True, though. True. What if he doesn't sign? Stop finding things to be anxious about. I doubt that the Senate is going to pass it with anything less than a supermajority anyway, so it doesn't fucking matter. He's going to sign. He's already said he's going to sign.